Hi everybody, it's Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, and we are fresh off the pre-release at for Tarkir Dragonstorm. Just got back from my pre-release event. Unfortunately, I couldn't play on Friday night because of some D&D commitments. Had to play as my Dragonborn Ranger Villisthane with my local play group, but was able to go to one of my favorite game shops, Game Theory, up in Raleigh. Not a sponsor, just a great game shop where there was a sold out crowd for the Tarkir Dragonstorm pre-release event. So posted up on my Instagram are some pictures of my pre-release pulls, some of the big cards that I pulled, and some shots from where I was putting my deck together. So be sure to check that out at Mild Mannered Mage on the Instagrams. But y'all are not here to talk about pre-release. Y'all are here for another episode of Breaking Boxes, and it is pre-release season, and that means we have some fresh booster boxes for you. And given that this is probably one of the biggest planes for us to revisit in Magic, I mean, I would say Tarkir is second only to Ravnica. I would have to say, in terms of popularity. Ravnica has the guilds, Tarkir has the clans, and the dragons, and that is what we're here for, is to see some big flying baddies, right? I mean, that's what we want to see. So to help us find those big collector booster box, so hopefully within these 12 packs we may find us something good. So what are we looking to hit? Would really love to see the new Elspeth Planeswalker, which is a anointed procession on a Planeswalker. So she doubles your tokens as just a static ability. Disgusting, and I have to have it. Any of the mainstay dragons for this set, the mythics for the clans, that would be fun to see. They have reprinted some fetches, I believe, as special guests. There is Draco Genesis, which is the play dragons for free. I mean, omniscience on dragons. I mean, that is just ridiculous. Then there is the Dragonstorm creature. So it's a creature card with storm, and so you get to storm off on dragons. Yeah. So there's just lots and lots of fantastic cards in this set. It's like their R&D department sat down and said, okay, how can we make this as stupid as we can? There's the new Mox, which will tap for any color so long as you have a dragon. There's the new Ugin Planeswalker. There's just, I mean, it is so stupid, all of the things that they have. I'm trying to remember what the other one is that I sent to some friends. I'm actually looking it up right now because I feel like I'm missing one. Let's see, what was it? Oh, Call of the Spirit Dragons. Dragons are indestructible, and then if you control 5, see, at the beginning of your upkeep, for each color, put a 1/1 counter on a dragon you control of that color, and if you put a 1/1 counter on 5 dragons this way, you win. I mean, because dragons needed another win con. I mean, come on, guys, seriously. So we're looking for any of these fantastic cards. So with all of that being said, let us go ahead and start getting into this box. Alright, there we go. Get this plastic off. Oh, there we go. Toss that off to the side. Got to be delicate with this one. There we go. Open that up, and we've got 6 packs there, and 6 packs here. All right. I do wish it came with more packs other than 6 or other than 12, but you know, that would just drive the price up even more, and these are expensive as it is. All right, we will start with this right here. So we have our first 6 packs. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will have our first set of 6 from this collector booster box from Tarkir Dragonstorm. Hold tight, and we'll be right back. And we are back with this episode of Breaking Boxes, and this time we are breaking into a collector booster box of Tarkir Dragonstorm. We are fresh off of a pre-release of Tarkir Dragonstorm. Played Asban, went 2 for 2. Didn't really get anything special out of it. It was kind of a struggle bus for me at this pre-release. I mean, I feel like my deck was pretty good. Wasn't too bad, but my first game got mana screwed in the first... so in my first match, got mana screwed in game 1. Game 2, mana flooded. Couldn't really do a whole lot. Nice guy I was playing against, so nothing against him. It was completely the deck and me. But then from there on out, it was the rest of the matches were pretty well even. So managed to go 2 for 2. Felt pretty good. You know, could have gone a little bit better, but yeah, them are the breaks. So that being said, let's get into our first pack. And are these... Yep. One thing I do like about the collector boosters is they got that little tag on it that does make it a little bit easier excuse me, to get into them. Alright, so we've got our soldier token. And then to start off with, we have our Corey Steel Cutter, red and 1. For an artifact equipment, equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has the trample and the haste. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess, and I can attach this equipment to it. Otherwise, equip is 1 and a red. So that's pretty good. Then we get into our Bloomvine Regent. Bloomvine Regent is 2 green and 3 for a flying 4/5. When this creature or another dragon you control enters, gain 3. That okay. When another dragon comes in, gain 3 life. I like that. And then this has the new Omen mechanic. So very similar to Adventure, but instead of it being exiled, it gets reshuffled into your library. So the Omen for this one is search your library for 2 basic force cards, reveal them, put one onto the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand, then shuffle. So that's claim territory. So it's basically like a Cultivate or a Kodama's Reach. And you're still paying the 3 mana for that. I kind of like that. That's nice. Quarry Mountain Monastery, and this is for a land. This land enters tapped unless you control a plains or an island. Tap it for a red. Pay 4 and tap it. Exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. This might actually go in my Prosper deck. Gives me another way to exile the top card of my library. I like that. This looks like a card from one of the commander decks, Will of the Azban. Black and 3. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this, you may choose both instead. Okay, always a positive. So with that, any number of target opponents each sack a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls, and they lose 3. Nice. And then return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So doing Azban things, making people sack, and then bringing stuff back yourself. Nature's Rhythm, 2 green and X. Search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. And then you can harmonize for 4 green and X, and that means you can cast it from your graveyard for the harmonize cost. And then you can tap a creature you control to reduce its mana cost by amount of generic mana equal to its power, then exile this spell. So it's kind of like Jumpstart, but you tap a creature to help reduce it. And then we have our fancy island. Runescale Stormbrood. Love the art on that. Teeming Dragonstorm. Mardu Monument. Dragon Brood Relic. Salt Road Skirmish, and then we get into our comments. All right. Pack number 2. There we go. Toss those to the side. Elephant token. There's a saga that makes elephants. And a treasure. Barren Step Siege. Choose Azban or Mardu. At the beginning, for Azban, at the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, like that. Mardu, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. Okay. That's pretty good. I do like that Azban effect. Windcrag Siege, another enchantment. Choose Mardu or Jeskai. Mardu, if a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it goes again. Okay. And then Jeskai, at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 goblin creature token. It gains lifelink and haste. So there's a Mardu commander that I think has double attack triggers. So double, double, double. Yeah, I mean, that would get just ridiculous. Ooh, here's the new Sorok. Green and 2. Cannot be countered. Trample. Whenever a creature you control becomes a target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, draw a card. So that gives you the opportunity to respond. So if your stuff keeps getting targeted, you just keep drawing cards. Another commander card, Lots of enchantments in this pack. This is like the third enchantment. Taval's Judgment, black and 2. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, okay. Choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Draw a card, make a treasure, make a zombie druid creature token. Nice. So if you get 3 things back from your graveyard, or 3 things leave your graveyard, rather, exile, coming back to the battlefield, coming back to your hand, then you can get up to these 3 effects. That's pretty good. I like that. And then here is our first mythic, and this is going to be the Mardu Dragon. Nereeve, the Heart of the Storm. And it is in foil, so Mardu and 1. Flying, if a creature you control entered this... If a creature you control that entered this turn would deal damage, it deals twice that much damage instead. So something for your hasty boys to deal damage, and then it deals double that damage. Very nice. So we got at least one of those mythical dragons so far. Then Encroaching Dragonstorm, Stormshriek Feral, Disruptive Stormbrood, Loxodon Battle Priest, a Strategic Betrayal, and then into our commons. Pack number 3. Oh, let's see. These are not tearing very cleanly. There we go. Getting lots of little bitty pieces out of it. Spirit. So, Star Spirit. And a 3/3 Spirit. Into a Quarzy Revenant. So 2 black and 1 for a vampire, flying, death touch, lifelink. So that's a lot. And then renew for black and 2. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a flying, death touch, and a lifelink counter on target creature. So basically, it's passing off its abilities. So if this is in your graveyard, you pay 3, and you're giving this keyword soup that it has to another creature on the battlefield that you control. I like that. Mistrise Village. Enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest. Taps for a blue. Pay a blue and tap it. The next spell you cast this turn can't be countered. So if you got something that you need to really get through, this is the one to help you do it. Ambling Stormshell. 2 blue and 3 for a turtle. It's a member of the Turtle Club. Hopefully he's turtly enough. Turtle. Hopefully some of y'all will get the Master of Disguise reference. Whenever this creature attacks, put 3 stun counters on it and draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a turtle spell, untap this creature. That's kind of interesting. So it's kind of slow. So that allows you to, you attack, you put the counters on it, and you get 3 cards out of it. But then if you cast a turtle, you get to untap it, but it still has the stun counters on it potentially. It is a 5/9, so that would give you a thick boy to do some blocking with. But I don't know many turtles. Maybe changelings? Maybe changelings. I don't know. I'd have to look to see if there's turtles. Are there many turtles in Magic? I'm not thinking of many. I can think of like a... I don't know. I will have to look. Because I am not 100% sure. And then here we go with another mythic. And this is actually the mythic from the one of the commander decks, Zergo Stormrender. So Mardu, mobilize 1. Whenever this creature attacks, create a tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token. Sack it at the beginning of the next end step. Whenever a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, each opponent loses 1 life. So you build around that mobilize mechanic, do a lot of attacking, do a lot of sacking, and then draw cards off of it. And then if you are able to not sack, where a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, draw a card if it was attacking. Oh, and then if it gets, if you sack it to something maybe like Phyrexian Altar, Altar of Dementia, then each opponent will lose a life. So that's kind of interesting. I might want to, that would be something I would consider building around. Sidisi, Regent of the Mire, black and 1 for a zombie snake warlock, 1/3. Tap it, sack a creature you control with mana value X other than Sidisi. Return target creature with mana value X+1 from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this allows you to sack a creature and bring something with higher mana value of 1 back. So that could be good for some reanimate decks. And we've got a swamp. Oh, I like that swamp with the... you know what this reminds me of is in The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, when Smaug was just kind of chillaxing, flying around in the air right before he let hell loose. I like it. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Boulder Dragon, Encroaching Dragonstorm, Formation Breaker, Nomad Outpost, we'll just put that over there, Iridescent Tiger, Narset's Rebuke. Oh, actually these are all of our commons. Okay. Pack number 4. Let me see if I can get this open the regular way. These are, the packs are, there we go, are a little thicker, so they're usually a little bit harder to open. So I usually just use that cutout to get it going. Alright, so we've got a copy and a monk. And we've got our first repeat, that Ambling Stormshell. Again, I don't know a lot of turtles. We'll have to see if there are a lot of turtles. I don't know. We'll have to call Leonardo and Michelangelo. Rediscover the Way, Jeskai Enchantment Saga, chapters 1 and 2. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them in the hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Chapter 3, whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. That is a very Jeskai thing to do. Anafinza, the Unyielding Lineage. White and 2 for a Spirit Soldier. Flash first strike. Whenever another non-creature you control dies, Anafinza endures 2, so you can either put 2 1/1 counters on her or make a 2/2 Spirit. Which I used a lot of that enduring in my Asban deck. It paid off. I think it made it work a little bit better. Will of the Jeskai, another commander deck card, red and 3. Choose one if you control your commander. Choose both. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards, like that. So, red wheel. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to the mana cost. Like that too. That's a very cool card. I could see that doing some good things. And here we have our second dragon. This is the Teamer Dragon. Flying pro white and black. When it enters, it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers, where X is the number of lands you control. So lands matter. Teamer, cast this and just all of your opponent's creatures. And it's a 10/10? What? That's pretty awesome. And this is a Spirit Dragon. I also like how they've got the clan symbols on here. Let's find that other Spirit Dragon real quick. Yep, there we go. So each of those have. So this has got the Mardu symbol, and that's got the Teamer symbol. That's pretty awesome. I like it. Really like these dragon lands too, where it's the dragon eye. That's pretty sweet. Again, you do so many types of lands in. I mean, we're already seeing that's one type of land. There's another type of land. I mean, it's the shadow lands, and then there's the eye lands, and then there's the regular lands. Just choose one land type. One land type per set. That way we don't have to go through and hunt down all that we need to make a deck. Stick to a theme, Watsy. Stick to a theme. Twin Maul Stormbrew. Defibrillator. I can't say that word. Defibrillating Current. There we go. Veteran Ice Climber. Breaching Dragonstorm. And then into our commons. Pack number 5. Alright, let's see if we can't get this open. There we go. With minimal fuss. Soldier. Oh, snap. Oh, that's beautiful. Do I have... Give me a minute. Oh, my God. Look at that. Japanese full art foil Ugin. You gotta be freaking kidding me on that. Holy shit. I will take that all flipping day. Wow, that is gorgeous right there. Beautiful card. Was not expecting that. So this is the new Ugin. I cannot remember offhand what he does. That is why we have our cell phones and we look him up. One moment while I look this card up and read you what he does. Here we go. Let me make that bigger. Okay, Ugin, Eye of the Storms. 7 mana for an Ugin Planeswalker. When you cast this spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that is 1 or more colors. So, cast it, exile something your opponent controls. Whenever you cast a color spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Okay, so we just start, exiling stuff our opponents control. Pay 2, or comes in with 7 loyalty. +2, gain 3 and draw a card. 0, add 3 colorless mana. And then -11, search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards, exile them, then shuffle. Until end of turn, you may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. So you could, as long as you could protect him, you could 9, 11, in 3 turns ult him, and then, do whatever you want with that -11. Oh my god, that is gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to say that's the hit of the night. Let's see what else we got. Oh, wow. Okay. Meringue River Regent. Coil and Catch. Instant Omen. Blue and 3. Draw 3, then discard a card. And then for 2 blue and 4, you can cast this 6/7. Whenever this creature enters, return up to 2 other non-land permanents to their owner's hand. So that lets you bounce stuff back to their hands. Voracious Bibliophile. Blue and 3, Flying Vigi. Whenever you cast a spell with 1 or more targets, draw that many cards. And that is another commander deck card. And Hollow Merc Siege. Black and green. When it enters, choose Sultai or Azban. Sultai, whenever a counter is put on a creature you control, draw a card. Triggers only once, and then whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains the Menace until end of turn. Very nice. And then there's another Dragon Eye, this time in Swamp. Whirlwing Stormbrood. Boulder Born Dragon. Knockout Maneuver. Doggovan Pack Beast. Gurmag Rakasha. Monastery. Oh, these are all the commons. Okay. And then the final pack from this first set of 6. See what sort of goodies we got. Warrior and a Gabo. Magmatic Hellkite. 2 red and 2. Flying whenever this creature enters. Destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. They go get a basic land onto the battlefield tapped with a stun counter on it. Well, that's kind of mean. They don't get the land for another turn. Wow. Into Jeskai Revelation, red, white, and blue, and 4 for an instant. And this is a mythic, so lots of mythics so far. Return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Jeskai Revelation deals 4 damage to any target. Create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. Draw 2, and then you gain 4. While I think that does seem good, that is a lot of mana for what could essentially be a counterspell. Lotus Light Dancers, black, green, and blue, and 2 for a zombie bard. Lifelink 3/6er. When this creature enters, search your library for a black card, a green card, and a blue card. Put those cards into your graveyard, then shuffle. So goes good with a nice recursion themed deck. Will of the Mardu, another commander deck from the upcoming sets. White and 2, choose 1. If you control a commander, you may cast this spell. You may choose both. Create a number of 1/1 red warrior creature tokens equal to the number of creatures target player controls. Okay, so that could give you some blockers if you're in a sticky situation. And then Will of Mardu deals damage to target creature equal to the number of creatures you control. So if you got your commander out, you make a shit ton of tokens, and then it maybe takes care of what could be the biggest threat on the board. And then we've got Avenger of the Fallen, black and 2 for a death-touching human warrior. Mobilize X, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So when it attacks, you make that many red 1/1 warriors into a plains. Breaching Dragonstorm, Whirlwig Stormbrood, Rally the Monastery, Unrooted Ancestor, and then we've got our commons. All right, so this was an exciting first set. We've got 2 of the Mythic Spirit Dragons. We have, we got that Ugin. We've got the 2 Spirit Dragons. We got a bunch of Wills from the Commander decks. We've got the Zergo. We've hit a lot of mythics so far. We've got this Jeskai Revelation. I'm looking at the set symbols. If you're wondering why I have these upside down, I can just flip through them really quickly and look at the set symbols and look to see what color they are. So, we've already hit a lot of mythics so far, but again, I feel like this Ugin is, regardless of what I'm going to pull out of these 6 packs that are left, this Ugin, I feel like, is the card of the night so far. So, when we get back, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we've got 6 more packs of Tarkir Dragonstorm just waiting to be open. Hang tight, and we'll get at it. And we are back with this episode of Breaking Boxes. I'm Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, and we are opening up this collector booster box of Tarkir Dragonstorm. And what a storm it's already been. We've already seen 2 of the Mythic Spirit Dragons. We've seen Zergo from the Commander decks. We've seen the Jeskai Mythic Instant spell. And then we have seen Ugin in his alt art Japanese print. And it has been fantastic so far. And we are not even, and we are just halfway through this box. And it is, whoo, I tell you. All right, so we have 6, count them, 6 packs remaining. Let's get in them and see what we've got. And I'm going to have to go after we finish opening up these packs and see how many of the will cards I've pulled out of this, because I want to say I've gotten all the wills, so that would just be kind of funny to me. All right, another elephant token. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Oh my God, look at that. That is the other Planeswalker I was wanting out of this set. Elspeth, the Stormslayer. And then this is in full art and foil. 2 white and 3. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many tokens would be created instead. +1, create a 1/1 white soldier token. Psych! We're going to make 2. 0, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain the flying until the end of turn. And then -3, destroy target creature and opponent controls with mana value 3 or greater. This box, y'all, is the box that keeps giving. You know what? That is also because that's another big card right there. And look at in the background right here. That is just awesome. Awesome printing. Right there. Oh my god. 2 planeswalkers making this whole box. Made the whole box. Okay, where are we? I blacked out there for a second. Front Cliff Siege. When this enters, choose Jeskai or Temur. Jeskai, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Temur, creatures you control get +1/+0 and have the trample and the haste. I mean, honestly, either of those options are fantastic. Severance Priest, white, black, and green. So Azban, Death Touch for a 3/3. Whenever this creature enters, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, exile that card. When this creature leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX white spirit creature token, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. So you get to get rid of something, but if this creature dies, they get a spirit instead. Jaws of Defeat for our commander deck card. Black and 3. Whenever a creature you control enters, target opponent loses life equal to the difference between that creature's power and its toughness. Interesting. So if you got something with more power and less toughness, then you're going to start dealing some damage. Rediscover the Way. So this is a Jeskai saga. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, and the rest in. Excuse me. Let me start that over. Chapters 1 and 2. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library. Chapter 3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, it gains the double strike. I think I've already pulled this one because this sounds very familiar. And then there is our island land. Keru Goldkeeper, Purging Stormbrood, Dragonclaw Strike, Aegis Sculptor, and then that goes, I believe, into our commons. That would have been pack number 7, 8. God, I can't believe I hit the 2 planeswalkers. In foil. I mean, that's just it right there. We've got a copy and a monk. And a Sinkhole Surveyor. Bird Scout. Black and 1. When this creature attacks, lose 1, and it endures 1. So you either put a +1/+1 counter on it, or you make a 1/1 spirit. Warden of the Grove, green and 2 for a Hydra. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Starts off as a 2/2, so not bad. Whenever another non-token creature you control enters, it endures X, where X is the number of counters on this creature. So I think the creature endures X, where X is the number of counters on this creature. Okay. That could be pretty good. I like that. Dragonologist. Whenever this creature enters, look at the top 6 of your library. Reveal an instant sorcery or dragon from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. Untapped dragons have hexproof, so ways to protect your dragons when it's not your turn, or even when it is your turn, and they might have the vigilance. For our commander deck card, we have Tip the Scales, black and 2. Sack a creature. When you do, all creatures get -X/-X till end of turn, where X is the sacrificed creature's toughness. Nice little board sweep. And then Sage of the Skies. Whenever you cast a spell, if you've cast another spell this turn, copy it for a flying lifelinker. And then that is our land. Runescale Stormbrood, Skirmish Rhino, Quarry Mountain Stalwart, Sunset Strike Master into our commons. Very good. Pack number 9. So, Spirit, and Awaken the Honored Dead. For Sultai, Chapter 1, destroy target non-land permanent. Nice. Chapter 2, mill 3 cards. Chapter 3, you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so get something back. Codus, the Fangkeeper, Sultai 1 for a zombie warrior. Whenever Codus deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. Okay. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. Okay, so deal a lot of damage to an opponent, exile those cards, and you get to cast any of them with mana value X. So if you deal 5 damage, exile 5, cast anything 5 or less. Oh, and then we got the other Zurgo. Zurgo Thunder's Decree, red, white, and black. So Mardu for a 2/4. Mobilize 2. So when he attacks, make 2 1/1s. And then during your in-step warrior tokens you control have this token can't be sacrificed. So that means that those 1/1s that would normally be sacrificed with the mobilize effect stick around. So that can get out of control very quickly. For our commander deck card, we have Diviner of the Mist, blue and 4 for a 4/5 dragon, flying. Whenever this creature attacks, mill 4, and then you can cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard with mana value 4 or less without paying its mana cost. And then if you do that, exile that card. And then another copy of Awaken the Honored Dead. This one in regular, whereas the other was in that kind of fancy print. Corroding Dragonstorm, Dragon Sniper, Wingblade Disciple, Channeled Dragonfire, and then our commons. Pack number 10. Let's see. Warrior and Agabo. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon. So this is a land. Tap it for a colorless. Tap it, add 1 mana of any color to cast a dragon or an omen. And then pay 4 to sack it to search your library for a dragon. And it goes to your hand. Very nice. Nature's Rhythm. This is, we've already seen this card. 2 green and X to go get a creature card with mana value X, and then you can harmonize it, cast it from your graveyard, but you got to tap a creature to reduce its cost. Fangkeeper's Familiar, black, green, blue, and 1 for a snake. You can flash this out, and when it enters, you can gain 3 and surveil 3, or destroy target enchantment, or counter target creature spell. Ooh, that's pretty good. Being able to choose any one of those 3. So those are all 3 really good options. Our commander deck card is the Infantry Shield, red and 2. Equipped creature has Menace and mobilize X where X is its power. That would go really good with those Zergo cards. Mobilize and then just buff everything up. That would be pretty good. And then Magmatic Hellkite, that's where we're going to go destroy a land and then deny them that land for a turn. Breaching Dragonstorm, the Runescale Stormbrood, Kisla Trowlers, Alchemist's Assistant. And then that goes into our commons. Pack number 11. We got the bird and the monk. So we have that Jeskai Revelation again in that same art. That's pretty awesome. So we got two of them. This box, y'all. I don't know what I'm going to do with this box. To pull not one, but two Elspeths out of it. Now, granted, this one's not foil, and I'm okay with that. But seriously, we're going to pull two Elspeths and an Ugin out of it. I mean, damn. Is that what we're really doing today? Is that what we're doing today? Okay, if that's what we're doing, another Elspeth Stormslayer, we're going to double tokens. And it's going to make tokens. New way forward, Jeskai in 2. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. When damage is prevented this way, New way forward deals that much damage to that source's controller, and you draw that many cards. So that's almost like a deflecting palm, but you get to choose the source. Welcome the Dead. This is our commander deck card. Draw 2, then discard a card and lose 2, and then create X tapped 2/2 black zombie druid creature tokens, where X is the number of cards that were put into your graveyard from your hand or library this turn. And then you can flash it back. Felthar, Dawn of the Azban. So Azban colors, white, black, and green. Trample 3/3. Whenever Felthar enters or attacks, you may sack a non-land permanent. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. I played this in my pre-release deck. It got flipping ridiculous. I think I got him up to 11 power because there was this other creature. I don't even know if I pulled one in here. Let me see. I doubt I have. I haven't really been paying attention to the commons. I think it was a common. But what this other creature did was whenever you cast it, when it entered, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature. I'll put a counter on him. Whenever you attack, sack a creature, put a 1/1 counter on every. I haven't pulled it. So I would sack that creature, but that same creature also said when it died, put a 1/1 counter on it. So, I mean, it would get like multiple counters. So I would cast the creature, put a counter. So that one creature ended up putting 3 counters on him. And I did it twice. Plus some other things to... I sacked some other things to put counters on him. But I got him up to 11 power. It was ridiculous. And for him to have trample too, it's fantastic. Our blue eye. Twin Maul Stormbrood, Spectral Denial, Yathan Tombguard, and then our commons. I think it was a Let me make sure. I think it was a common, not an uncommon. And then I know what it was. I had another creature that whenever you put a counter on something, you put another counter. It was a neat little combo. That's what it was. All right. We are at our last pack. And what I am going to do, if I can find it, is I have my pre-release kit here. And I am going to pull from my pre-release kit well, I thought I know I've got it in here because I haven't done anything with it. Or did they not do one? Actually, now that I go digging through this, I don't actually remember seeing a code in my kit. So maybe that might just be me. Maybe I set it aside and lost it. And if I did that, I apologize because I had every intention of giving y'all my code from the pre-release kit today. Well, I apparently have messed up and cannot find my code from the pre-release kit today. However, that being said, I do have, sitting right here, a code from a pre-release kit that I'm going to give y'all. Just as a thank you for hanging out with me as I have gone through and opened up this pack of Tarkir Dragonstorm collector boosters. This has been a wild ride for this box, and holy cow have we pulled some awesome stuff. So I want to thank each of you for hanging out. This is just, the best way that I can do it right now. So again, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Be sure to check out our other episodes of Breaking Boxes. Watch them as many times as you can so that we can get our engagement up. Be sure to check out our other shows, Breaking Boxes, Arena Antics, and where I go on to MTG Arena and play around with Brawl. Also, War Council, where I share some of my personal Magic decks, mainly Commander, and talk through building them and how to pilot them. All right. And also, don't forget to like, follow, turn on notifications so that you know when the next video drops. And then with this being pre-release, I may have done some stupid things, and I also have a play booster box that I'm about to open and share with y'all later, as well as a bundle box. So be sure to keep an eye out for those in the coming days. And with that being said, let's get into this last box, or this last pack. Oh, shite. I don't know what this is. It's an Asban card. And it's in that Halo foil, the Dragonfire foil. What is this? Hold, please. And this is why. Okay, here we go. Found it. Skirmish Rhino. White, black, and 2. When this creature enters, each opponent loses 2 and you gain 2. So not exactly sure why this is a mythic, other than the foiling and everything. It's not exactly exciting. But it is kind of expensive. Huh. Okay. Well, the Japanese version is not available on TCGPlayer right now, so hopefully by the time I get around to editing this, the price will be updated. But that foiling, the Ghostfire foiling, is beautiful. So another mythic. Very mythic heavy in this set. So, because I do know at least what the English one is running, this will go into a sleeve. Actually, you know what I also forgot to do? Just because I know what it's running, we're going to put this in 1, 2. There we go. Okay. Alright, then we've got the great Arashin City. This is a land that enters tapped unless you control a forest or a plains. Taps for a black. And then you can pay a black and 1 to exile a creature card from your graveyard to make a white spirit creature token. Glacier Wood Siege. Blue, green, and 1. For an enchantment, choose Tamir or Sultai. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell for Tamir, target player mills 4. For Sultai, you may play lands from your graveyard. Parapet Thrasher, 2 red and 2 for a flying dragon. For 4/3, this is coming from our commander decks. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to an opponent, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Destroy target artifact an opponent controls. This creature deals 4 damage to each other opponent. And then exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Kishla Village. Enters tapped unless you control an island or a swamp. Taps for a forest. And then you can pay 4 to surveil 2. These are very interesting land cycles. And then we are in our final Teeming Dragonstorm, Kintree Severance, Armament Dragon, Dragonstorm Forecaster, and then there's our commons. All right. Well, that is it. And I am curious really quickly. I want to see, because I pulled a lot of wills. And I want to see if I pulled all 5. Will of the Mardu. Will of the Jeskai. Will of the Asman. Maybe I did not. I don't think I did. Okay. It just felt like I did. Double checking. Nope. Alright, so I only got 3 of the 5 wheels from the commander decks, but I also want to look. I mean, I feel like I've gotten a lot in terms of... Let's see, I'm looking for enchantments and lands. Because I'm curious if I completed the cycle on these two enchantment cycles and the land cycles. Because it feels like I could have. And I think I did. And I think I only... Okay, I think I'm 1 short on the land. Because I know I got the blue one. Right? I did get the blue one, didn't I? Yep, there's the blue one. Okay, I must be short the white one. Right? Green, black, red. So I would be short the white one. Which I think I am. It's always fun when you can complete out a cycle in a box. But I don't think I did it this go round. Nope, not at all. Okay. So 4 of the 5 lands, and then I may have... I'll have to look to see, but I got 5 of these enchantments. I'm not sure if there's 5 or 10, but we'll have to look. So, all right. So this has been, like I said, a wild and crazy box. I want to thank all of you for hanging out with me as we busted open. We found a lot of crazy stuff. We pulled a Halo foil. We got an Ugin. We found 2 Elspeths. I mean, this box don't stop. So, again, thank y'all for hanging out with me during this episode of Breaking Boxes. Once again, I'm Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, and we will catch you on the next episode of Breaking Boxes. In the meantime, just want to wish each and every one of you happy magicking. Have a great one.